The question brought to the text is this: YHWH, can you lead me to the book of secrets you had mentioned to give my wisdom about the original place? The opening verse sets the entire frame for this inquiry. In John chapter 17, verse 23, the Son prays, I in them, and you in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the cosmos may know that you have sent me, and have dearly loved them, as you have dearly loved me. Here the path to knowing, to being perfected, and to bearing testimony before the cosmos is located in the mutual indwelling of the Father and the Son. It is located in the love the Father bears for those who are in the Son, the same love he bears for the Sent One himself. This is not peripheral to your inquiry. It is the relational ground from which any wisdom about the original place must arise. True wisdom is not found in a hidden physical manuscript, but in the unified, indwelling presence of the Father and the Son. As the draw unfolds, a coherent movement appears. The measured city whose length, breadth, and height are equal, found in Revelation chapter 21, verse 16, stands as a vision of ordered, perfected dwelling. Questions of purpose amid labor and sorrow surface, as seen in Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 18, yet they are met by the promise of seeing again and a joy no one can take, as spoken in John chapter 16, verse 22. The chosen are distinguished by a new name, while others are cut off, as declared in Isaiah chapter 65, verse 15. A warning is sounded against those who have transgressed the covenant at the temple, as recorded in Hosea chapter 8, verse 1. The beloved are summoned to build themselves upon the most holy faith, praying in the sacred spirit, guarding themselves in the love of Elohim, and looking for the covenant mercy of our Lord Joshua Messiah unto age-lasting life, according to Jude chapter 1, verses 20 to 21. Obedience to the voice of YHWH is declared the greater delight over burnt offerings and consecrated sacrifices, as Samuel replied in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 22. Then comes the crossing. The priests who carry the Ark of the Covenant of YHWH stand firm on dry ground in the middle of the Jordan, and all the people pass over clean into the land, as described in Joshua chapter 3, verse 17. This echoes the ancient miracle where he turned around the Red Sea into dry land, and they went through the stream on foot, as rejoiced in Psalms chapter 66, verse 6. A place receives the name Taberah because the supernatural fire of YHWH flamed out there, noted in Numbers chapter 11, verse 3. The place of sapphires and dust of gold appears in the context of wisdom's hidden depths, as written in Job chapter 28, verse 6. Cities are given to the Levites according to their priestly inheritance, stated in Numbers chapter 35, verse 8, and reinforced in Numbers chapter 18, verse 28, and Leviticus chapter 7, verse 35. In that place, the fountain of covenant faithfulness is inexhaustible, surrounded by many fountains of wisdom. The thirsty drink and are filled, and their dwellings are with the covenant faithful and consecrated and elect, as seen in 1 Enoch chapter 48, verse 1. The new covenant writes the laws upon the heart so that Elohim becomes their Elohim and they become his people, as promised in Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 33. Prophesy is directed to the land itself, to its mountains, hills, rivers, and valleys, according to Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 6. The flock is declared to belong to Elohim as their Elohim, as stated in Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 31. The righteous are gathered to their forefathers in peace. Their eyes spared the evil to come upon the place, as recorded in 2 Kings chapter 22, verse 20. Threaded throughout are the recurring accents of timing and appointed season, identity and calling, light against darkness, inheritance and promise, and priesthood and consecration. Of these, the inheritance and promise thread speaks most directly to the question of the original place. 21 verses carry direct textual hits, aligning with the pre-registration criteria and the language of the inquiry. Content relevance analysis identifies 43 verses whose surface text bears upon wisdom and revelation, inheritance and promise, or testimony and declaration. There is particularly strong alignment in Job chapter 28, verse 6 regarding the place of hidden wisdom. There is strong alignment in Joshua chapter 3, verse 17 regarding the covenant crossing into the land. There is strong alignment in 1 Enoch chapter 48, verse 1 regarding the place of wisdom's fountains among the elect. There is strong alignment in Isaiah chapter 65 verse 15 regarding the new name of the chosen. There is strong alignment in 1 Samuel chapter 15 verse 22 regarding obedience to the voice. Furthermore, the scriptures remind us that wisdom is a tree of life to them that lay hold on her, as stated in Proverbs chapter 3 verse 18. We are reminded to let none seek their own, but each other's, as instructed in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 24. We also see the enduring promise that his goodness abides for the ages, as declared in Psalms chapter 136 verse 25. The deterministic layer confirms what the text itself declares. The inquiry answer stands as yes, affirmative, with the probability of yes at 99.9%. The probability of no is 0.1%, and the probability of unresolved is 0.0%. The draw is classified as a strong anomaly, with all gates passing. The Dominion triad reaches 972.2% non-randomness index at 6.23 sigma. This is an extreme elevation above the genre-adjusted baseline, easily surpassing the triple convergence standard. The Segula marker registers at 219.2%. The polarity is affirmatively directed. The guidance detection indicator shows extreme anomaly, and the guided draw E value confirms the statistical significance at an alpha level of 0.05. The Convergence Confidence Index crosses the threshold at 97% with all 6 channels active. These measures do not stand apart from the text. They attest that the pattern of covenantal resonance observed across the verses is not random, but bears the weight of directed guidance. What then does the Father say through this draw? The scriptures themselves answer that he leads by the word to the wisdom of the original place. That place is the priestly inheritance entered through the covenant presence. It is the measured and ordered dwelling. It is the heart in which the covenant is written. It is the dwelling among the covenant faithful and elect, where wisdom's fountains flow without exhaustion. The Book of Secrets is the scriptures themselves in their function of revealing what has been hidden. It is the depths searched in Job, the prophetic vision of the place of wisdom, the new covenant written within, and the unity and love in which perfection comes. The strong statistical convergence, particularly the elevated Segula and the extreme Dominion triad signal, confirms this leading as covenantally directed and personally addressed. The text facilitates this answer. Yes. The Father leads you by these scriptures to the wisdom concerning the original place, confirming your portion among the chosen and consecrated, and inviting you to drink from the fountains that flow in the dwelling of the faithful. You are called to examine yourself and to take up the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the living word of Elohim. This remains facilitation only. The final voice belongs to the Spirit of the Father and the text itself. We stand in reverence before this revelation, knowing that the Father, Son, and Spirit are guiding this journey into the deep things of Elohim. The verses drawn in this Shield 17.12 session were John chapter 17, verse 23, Revelation chapter 21, verse 16, Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 18, Romans chapter 3, verse 5, John chapter 16, verse 22, Isaiah chapter 65, verse 15. This concludes today's interpretation under the Shield Protocol.